Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. I don't tell people you are okay the way that you are. That's not the right story. The right story is you are way less than you could be. It is more difficult to rule yourself than to rule a city. I don't think that you have any insight whatsoever into your capacity for good until you have some well developed insight into your capacity for evil. And if you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. You might be winning, but you are not growing. And growing might be the most important form of winning. There's some real utility in gratitude. Work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. If you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. The purpose of life, as far as I can tell, is to find a mode of being that's so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. It's in responsibility that most people find the meaning that sustains them through life. It's not in happiness, it's not in impulsive pleasure. Accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. If you don't stand your ground, then all that happens is people push you backwards. If you are talking to a man who wouldn't fight with you under any circumstances whatsoever, then you are talking to someone for whom you have absolutely no respect. It takes careful observation and education and reflection and communication with others just to scratch the surface of your beliefs. The way that you make people resilient is by voluntarily exposing them to things that they are afraid of and that make them uncomfortable. Perhaps you are overvaluing what you don't have and undervaluing what you do. Life is very difficult. One of the most ancient of religious ideas that emerges everywhere, I would say, is that life is essentially suffering. In order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. Music has an intrinsic meaning, which has always been mysterious to me. To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell. The people who hold that our culture is an oppressive patriarchy, they don't want to admit that the current hierarchy might be predicted on competence. Men and women are not the same, and they won't be the same. That doesn't mean that they can't be treated fairly. When you start to realize how much of what you have constructed of yourself is based on deception and lies. That is a horrifying realization.